EA Sports is proud to present today's PGA Tour coverage. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Mountain Shootout. For those of you just tuning in, we're checking in now on our featured golfer here at the fourth. Frank, when you get out of the gates, as our featured golfer has done, with a lot of pars, steady play, what's the mindset?
You've got to keep doing that, Rich. Just maybe get a little closer to the hole, drive a little bit better, work on the pace of the putting. Just little gains, and then all of a sudden you're going to notice a big difference in the scorecard.
Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Frank, out of the rough, best to swing a little bit easier or get after it with all you have?
Well, a little bit in between. Obviously, it's going to require a little bit of strength to make sure that club keeps going through, but it's still the planning of the shot. Once again, check short. Is there anything I have to carry? And even remember, there's always the option of just simply pitching the ball down the fairway and taking your medicine.
Frank, it's not about getting the ball close to the hole. From that spot?
Well, he had no chance to get it close. I thought he had very, very, very little chance of getting it on the green. So given that, that was a very good shot.
Been a little too much of that, Frank, just sort of ho-hum pars. Back on the tee here at Banff Springs, fifth hole, 424-yard par 4. What's the setup here, Frank?
Well, it's very tempting to try and hit a draw because that's the way in which the hole is shaped. But the main goal is to make sure that you can take that second bunker, the one on the left side, out of play with that tee shot.
No fairway here. This one in that rough. Just in that second cut here, only 135 yards to that hole location. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par. Rich, you know, after you've already made one mistake in the rough, there's a chance he's going to make another.
Just trying to get it back out into the fairway and not make a big number. Well, the stats say that is a green hit in regulation, but it's not yet a par on the card. Very tough putt coming up. Pretty long putt right here. You'd be happy to get it to within 2-3 feet. Looks like he just misread that. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. So that's a bogey, and now to 1 over par for the tournament. Frank, as we arrive here at the par 4 sixth hole, reasonably short at 373 yards. A lot of golfers arrive at a hole like this and they'll think, well, I'm just going to blast it away because it's such a short 4. You think these kinds of holes require a little more thinking?
They certainly do, Rich. If you can't drive it to the front edge of the green, there's no point really trying to hit it through that narrow neck. You can just sort of knock a 3-wood down there or something that's going to give you a decent yardage where you can at least spin that second shot. If you can guarantee that ball's going to stop when it lands, it's going to be much easier than trying to fashion some sort of pitch and run.
So missed the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
Settles in, looking to knock it in tight. Frank, it's always nice to play good golf, but it's just as special to be somewhere where you realize how fortunate we all are to be able to enjoy God's green earth. I mean, this is just an amazing spot.
I know our game's seasonal, Rich, but it amazes me. This whole area completely under snow in the winter. And then, you know, once the sun comes out, the snow starts to thaw out. You're left with this beautiful golf course, just in amongst nature, and you can still be competitive with it. So you can be sort of smelling the roses, as we would say, and still testing your own talents.
Beautiful stroke right there. Finds the bottom of the cup with ease. Now to the long par 5 7th hole, 602 yards, Frank. They call it hoodoo.
Yeah, it's nothing for a little muscle man. Bust one up the tee there. Well, actually it is. You're going to need two of your best if you want to reach this par 5 and 2. So start with a good one. Long and straight.
That's how you do it. Frank, that swing looks lively and strong.
Oh, that had to fly 300. It's close to 310. Second shot. This is not heading in the right direction.
Well, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Into the thick stuff. That's a difficult lie. This requires a lot of speed through the ball. Well, that's what separates the good players from the great players, the ability to get it that close from that kind of lie. Locked in on the read and the speed. Oh, I thought he had that. Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
Just a couple of feet. Solid effort and reasonable result to stay at 1 over par. Second round coverage coming your way tomorrow. For our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. So long for now. This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. It's second round coverage of the Mountain Shootout. Frank, you played at the highest level all over the world. What was a comfortable yardage for you on holes like this?
I actually had a club, believe it or not, that just the grooves on it, it would go 105 yards. It was a lofted sand iron, whether it was out of the first cut or rough or the fairway. So if I could hit it around 100 yards, I could almost hit that distance with my eyes closed. After that, 70 yards was the next one. So everybody has that little sort of sweet spot with the wedge.
So that means on a hole like this, you were looking for something off the tee in the 265 to 270 range, and that would put what club in your hand?
Just in those days, it was a 53-degree sand iron, yeah.
So from the rough back to the fairway, that's the right way to go.
Yeah, didn't take the bait. And at least now he's only going to play the price of a poor tee shot. Still got a good chance, though, getting away with par.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole, don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
And he's made it onto the green now. Keep the round going, those par putts. Well, Frank, how about this hole? 602 yards of par 5, although I guess I shouldn't be that surprised. It's 602 yards these days for a long hitter.
What do you say? It's a drive and a 7-iron?
That's a mid-range par 5.
Well, yeah, 2 woods. The longer hitters will definitely get at home there, especially in good conditions. But bunker down the left, avoid that, carry that, and then we can think about the second shot.
Well, he pays a price for that.
Yeah, when you don't see the top of the ball in the rough, you know it's not sitting pretty. You'll need a bit of force to extract one out of there.
Frank did the prudent thing there, didn't he?
Yeah, in the end, really, you could have turned that into a disaster. Instead, I see a good chance, really, to perhaps get away with par.
Third shot, looking for a good one. On the green in regulation. Now this for birdie, came away with par in the previous round. A birdie will send him to 1 under on the leaderboard. Frank, you like this kind of design feature where you go from the longest hole on the course immediately to the shortest hole.
Certainly, golf giveth and golf taketh away. This is just minimally uphill, just a couple of feet, but you can see from the overview the design of the green. And that flag's on the right, it's a little bit of a longer carry, so just be a little cognizant of that. You don't have to hit it directly at the flag.
Set to go. Not an easy shot by any means.
I mean, this skill and that was sublime.
Just good hands, coming out of the rough, able to manage the distance, and now in great position. Come on, you have to make that, don't you? Drop shot here at the 8th. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Ooh, so close. He can't believe it. Thought it was in. Makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under for the round. Frank, you know full well, this can be a humbling game.
And an embarrassing game.
Just love the variety here on the front side, Frank, coming off that short par 3 8th. Now we go to another par 5 to round out the side, 501 yards.
And the third par 5, interesting front 9 here. 3 par 5s, 3 par 3s and 3 par 4s. This one not the longest par 5, but still reachable. This one you have to be a little bit careful though. This is probably the toughest driving hole on the front 9 with regard to par 5s.
Now the second shot to the par 5. Frank, this one's offline.
There's rough and thick stuff over there.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Frank, not close, but from that lie, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich.
Par yesterday, now for birdie. Oh, man, you can't miss him from that distance. Frank, amazing how this hole has gotten away.
Yeah, he's not Robinson Crusoe. Happened to everybody that's played this game.
This to surrender, only one shot. So another bogey on the scorecard. And Frank, what happened this week?
I think it's a week to forget, Rich.
Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. We are back on this beautiful day here at Banff Springs in the Canadian Rockies, set to kick off all the action on the back 9. The 10th begin with a par 3, Frank, 218 yards.
And I have no idea why this is called Little Bow, because over 200 yards, you really have to bow up with this tee shot here. That's for sure. Bending there, you need something that comes out of the gate very, very straight and with a decent height on it as well. If you want to land on that left side of the green and make it stop.
How about that shot right there from that lie in the rough to knock it that close? That's good. And getting ready for the putt. So close.
And yet it still counts for another shot.
Clean this up with a tap.
Rich, you got to tell me what happened. I covered my eyes on that one.
Another bogey. What else? So off the long par 3 10th, we are at the 11th hole, 417-yard par 4, Frank.
It looks like a straightaway par 4, Rich, but if anything, the hole actually bends to the left, and you really want to follow that natural contour of that. Just sort of draw it off those bunkers on the right, or just simply carry it over the ones on the left. But ideally down the left side, it avoids that pine tree that's further down.
That one is just a little offline, and that will not end up in the fairway. This shot from 105 yards away. Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. Not terrible, but not his best.
Outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read, and missed out on that second part. Been a little too much of that, Frank, just sort of ho-hum pars. Frank, disappointing couple of rounds there.
And consequently a miscut. No chance of playing in the weekend, but there's more than one tournament ahead.